friends, this is Bijou Baker. I'm Maria. So today this is cake number 2 on deciding which cake I want for my birthday next month. Oh my gosh, this month. Okay, well that's how fast it happens. So one thing I want to say, someone was talking about my YouTube studio. It's my kitchen. It's just part of my kitchen. So there's activity in my home, and today the boys are over and they're just playing ball, and so there's going to be outside noises. That's life. I don't apologize for it. In fact, I love it. So getting back to the cakes. Now, this cake is going to be my spectacular spice cake. The flavor in this cake, man, it is just delicious. And I'm going to put fresh bananas in the middle with a delicious Italian cream in the middle. Then I'm going to do a sweet whipped cream on top, but I'm going to dome it. I'm going to make a really kind of antique-y, lace-looking kind of, I'm going to have fun with this cake. So here are the ingredients for the cake. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get all my dry ingredients, which is the flour, the baking soda, the baking powder, cornstarch, all the spices, and a little bit of salt. And just get them mixed in. And again, I do it this way so that it incorporates in when I mix it with the wet. Everything is nice and incorporated. No lumps or chunks of one thing that's not mixed. All right. This cake I like doing by hand. I like filling everything I'm going to do. And from here on, it's super fast. Okay, I have my oven at 285. It's preheating. I've got all the work I put into my cake pans, which I always tell you, I don't need anything more than just this cake liner. Parchment paper, they do sell them like this, cut to size, or you can just take a piece of parchment paper, trace it, cut it on the inside of the line, and it's going to fit perfectly. That's all you need to do to prepare your pan. Now, I'm going to cream the butter and add the sugar. And with this, doing it by hand, it's a little clumpy at first, but I don't mind it. If you want to use an electric mixer, by all means, you do whatever you want. So I'm just going to work this a little bit. I am going to work it a little bit, so let me show. I had to remove all evidence. You get that. This cake is one of the cakes that, like I said, it was a huge family favorite. Every time I made a cake, well, what kind do you want? It was almost always my spice cake with the banana filling. Because it's amazing. Oh yeah, you don't need arm day. It used to be easier when I was younger. That's all right. And as always, after the eggs comes the vanilla. And this is a very generous batch. I've got 3 cups of flour. So it's going to make a pretty substantial size cake. Now I'm going to alternate the buttermilk and this flour, this dry mixture. Oh my gosh, it is just so, it smells so good. All right, so just back and forth. It doesn't have to be completely, just mostly. And then about 1/3 of the liquid, and it's going to thin it out real well. You can see all the specks. I don't know, can you? Can you see all those spice specks? I wonder if that's actually a word, spice specks. So this cake, it's very light and airy. To me, that is the best kind of cake. There are tons of other desserts that are like Italian pound cakes. The Italian lemon pound cakes, oh my God, I would never say no to it, but that's a very dense cake, which is fine with me. Almost done. Last bit. Very thick cake. But look at that, stand straight up. But magic happens, I tell you, and then it gets very light. Okay, 3 equal parts. Oven's ready. Did you know that when your oven beeps, it's ready? It sounds like a very basic and obvious question, but I actually had a couple of people ask me when they know when their oven's ready. I don't know of an oven that doesn't beep when it's ready. I only know that when my oven's ready, every oven I've ever had, it beeps to let me know. So when your oven beeps, your oven is ready. And so my friend would she'd turn the oven on and then just put the cake in, or the biscuits, or whatever it was, and couldn't quite figure out how they didn't turn out right. Well, now you know. All right, I'm going to flatten these out, spread them out, and bake them 285 degrees for these probably 40 to 45 minutes. I'm not going to rush these babies. Man, it smells so good. This one I really can't wait for. All right. All right, I'll be back. Okay, I'm telling you, man, when you open up that oven and take it out, it is so, So good. So I made these last night. I know. So I've taken them and I wrapped them really. They smell so good. I wrapped them really well. Now, remember, air is the enemy of your food. So when you remove the option for the air to get in, it's going to last a while. So when I want to freeze my cakes, like if I'm in a really big baking mood, I'll make a bunch of cakes and then I'll wrap them up really well, put them in an airtight Ziploc bag, and then freeze them. They're going to last. Air's out, freshness is in. Now, ordinarily, I always tell you that the top is the bottom, but because these have been wrapped overnight, and they're a really, really moist cake, the packaging, it's kind of a little tacky. That's good. That just means it's moist. Well, I don't want to put this tackiness on the bottom of the cake plate because once the piece is removed, I don't want all that gunk there, although that is really delicious gunk. So for the bottom on this particular cake, I'm going to use the bottom as a bottom, but we're still going to play. Then I'm just going to top it off with some sweet whipped cream, and I'm not going to do anything spectacular to the whipped cream, except for give it just a touch of yellow because I want that antique kind of look. I don't want it yellow. I do not want it yellow. If it's yellow, I will toss it and start over. I want the palest yellow I can get, and you'll see why. So, cakes are done. Let's assemble them. That's it, and it's fun. It looks like it's a lot, but that's the spices. It's a spice cake. So that's all you need. And we're going to put it together. So when you're filling your pans and you're just doing it, eyeballing it without measuring exactly 2 cups, 1 cup, whatever you're going to do, you're going to get just a little bit of a height difference. I'm telling you, it isn't even enough to mention. But if yours is bigger, don't worry about it. Let's say you have 2 really big ones and a small one. Then you're going to put the small one right in the middle, and it'll look exactly like that's how you planned it. Nobody knows but you and me, right? Okay, when I made my tiramisu a while back, I had a lot of leftover filling, which made me really excited because this is what's going to be in between my layers with the bananas kind of wiggled in. Now, it's been a couple of weeks, and it's still just as fresh and delicious because I packaged it right. So I took the, look, that's a lot. I took the plastic wrap and I laid it right on top, tucking all the air out. And then I covered it with, well, these are cool little, aren't they cool? My sister got these for Christmas and I use them all the time. So taking out the air, and it sat like this. So it could stay like this even longer. Once you remove the air, you remove all options for the air to ruin your food. So I'm happy with that. Oh, beautiful. You see that? You see those vanilla flakes? Forget about it. All right, pretty plate. And we're gonna just unload. And when I do wrap them, I wrap them both ways. So I wrap them with it going this way, and then again with it going that way, just to make sure that all the air is out. I'm not going to do this for everyone. You guys get the idea, right? Okay, so this is going to be the bottom on this particular. Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful and moist. Right on the pretty plate. You can. I almost always use a cake plate, the cardboard, to put on it. That way I can move it around the house. But I want this on this pretty plate. So let's get our bananas, our knife, and our goodies. Okay, so because I don't have my whipped cream icing made just yet, ordinarily I would make a little dome and then fill it and such. This time, I'm just gonna work around it. When I come to icing it, I'm gonna squeeze in between the layers and just fill it. Now, you don't want it too full because then the cake will slide, but you definitely want to be able to have a bite of this delicious cream with the bananas. Oh my gosh. Unfortunately, we're at the beck and mercy of the banana growers, and I don't like bananas that are too firm, partially because when it comes to cutting it, it can really affect how the cake cuts. I like nice clean cuts. So I'm going to cut, I don't know, I'm not going to cut too thick because this is a firmer potato. This is a firmer banana than I like. So I'm just going to get, and I'd rather have more smaller pieces than larger pieces and try to work around that. If you like fresh fruit in your cakes, you guys, the banana and this cream, forget about it. It just, what a combination. And I'm not taking it further than that. After this, I want the whipped cream icing on it. And how many am I going to use? Depends. Depends on how many fits. I want more. I just don't want to cheat one bite. I know, I'm not prepared. So I'll just take a couple more and cut these in half. Yep. All right. The next layer. I am going to put just a little bit of this on top because I want, and this is trickier than it may look, I want the cake to adhere to this. It's kind of like glue. My hands are always washed, so we don't have to worry about that. All right, let me get the next one right. Now, all this might really freak people out. Not me, baby. I want to mush it down because I want that to ooze out. I need it to be as firm as possible. So here where the banana is coming out, poke it back in. I know, it's the weirdest thing. And this other stuff, I'm just gonna take it off. But I'm going to cut this right here, and I'm going to make a dome. So this part is kind of weird because you don't expect to ruin it already, but I'm not ruining it. I'm making it better. Okay, so I have a paper plate here because I'm going to put the pieces on top. So I'm going to cut at an angle, not a whole lot, but a little bit. It's funny because this particular birthday cake is very old-fashioned looking in the end, and probably more for your grandmother than for your teenage daughter, but in the end it's so beautiful. I don't know any girl who wouldn't want this on their for their birthday, including myself. So just taking off the sharp edge here. Okay, and you don't have to worry about it because this one is going to be iced thicker than most other. One, because it's whipped cream, and two, because you want that look. You want that perfect dome in the end. So I am going to put just a little bit, not a lot. And this is going to kind of just be like glue. Then I'm going to take the higher part and put it in the middle so it kind of starts to arch up. I know, weird stuff, right? It's weird. It's so weird, but it's so cool when it's done. And yes, it is quite literally just mushing together. I don't want to put bananas in the middle. I usually make this with a white cake and a raspberry, and so the raspberry looks really pretty, but I really want this spice cake. So this looks good. The edges are soft. And now for the whipped cream. And the whipped cream is just 2 cups of heavy whipping cream with about 1/4 cup of sugar mixed into it until you get peaks. Okay, the whipped cream is done. I'm going to use this milk carton to give me my side scraper because I have a bit of a dome on top. If I just use a straight edge side scraper, I'm going to get all these lines, and I don't want lines. So I just took I probably should have had this done for you, but such is life. Cut out bigger than you need so that you can end up with what you want, the way you want it. All right. Right here. And you absolutely, the one absolute on this is that the edge has to be completely straight. That is not. You see that little bump? It'll give me a hole in the side, so I want to make sure that I get straight. Okay, and then the pointed edges, well, I'm going to take off the sharpness just a little bit. Just a little bit. Okay, that's nice and even, perfect. So then I can actually dome it as much or as little as I want. Okay, so I don't know if you're going to be able to tell, but that has just the slightest tint of yellow. And I'm telling you, I cannot for the life of me find my side icer, that big wide one. I keep things in just its place, and it's not there. All right, so I'm gonna have to go back for more, but that's all right. I want you to see how I do this. So I'm gonna take, this is not centered. When your cakes are centered, you have a better, okay, you have a better chance at getting exactly what you're looking for. So I am just going to cover this baby. You guys are gonna love this design because it's so easy, and the messier you get, it turns out to be better. I know, right? I need more. This was 2 cups of whipped cream. If I have to go back and make 2 more, I will. I don't think so. Now, topping it off, I could put icing roses on here. You can end it in any way. I like the look of artificial flowers on cakes. I might just do that. So we want a generous amount. better to put it on and scrape it off than try to be too chintzy. All right. This just gets spread on, knowing I'm going to take most of it off. Not most of it. A lot of it. I love making this cake, and I haven't made this spice cake in way too long. It used to be the cake that my family would always ask for. When I was doing wedding cakes or birthday cakes, especially if there were a couple of them in there. What kind do you want? Spice? I know. I know. So, you see this bald spot right there? I'm telling you, even if you left it like that, in the end, no one's gonna know. This is a great, especially for beginners, you guys, this is a great way to decorate a cake. All right, I'm gonna stop there and I'm gonna take my nifty scraper and I'm gonna start at the side and just keep going, working my way up slowly, starting to arch it and bend it. Cool, right? Right? I'm telling you, that's all I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna do anything else to it because the decorations are going to hide everything. Now, you can see some parts like, really, Maria, you're gonna leave that? Yeah, baby. Okay, I did end up making more because I don't want to be chintzy on the design. Easy enough. That was easy. So I've got in my pastry bag, I'm using the number 2 tip. That's a small tip. That's a tip that I use to write happy birthday and such. So for decorating, that's a small tip until you see what we're gonna do. All right, so you can see that pretty good, right? Okay. All I'm going to do is squeeze and make little circles, and it's gonna look like, Maria, what the heck are you doing? I'm having so much fun. Let me see if I can do this so you can see. All right. Okay, you know what? I don't like that. I don't like that. Seriously, how do you not love? You don't like it? Cover it up. All right, so light, 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 light. Start to arch over. All right, we'll do it again. Don't squeeze so hard, Maria. Crazy, right? Okay, so the parts that are right there, I really want you to see this. Is that crazy or what? It's absolutely darling. Let me just finish it up. Okay, I think this beauty needs a great big old rose right on top. My scissors. Not the scissors I should use, but right on top. And then I'm not going to change, I'm not going to put any color on this. I'm going to leave everything that color. I'll just put a couple of leaves in the same color. And then a border. The border, I'm going to have a little fun with. Let's see, can you see that? And you always, when you're serving on your serving plate, you always want to make sure that your plate is nice and clean. I say that as I got icing all over me. Hold on, that's not good. Okay, now even though that will be covered, I still just want to go ahead and clean it. So I take a paper towel and I just get a nice clean tip and remove it. That's all. And again, it's going to be hidden. So I'm going to get some more icing because I'm going to do 2 layers for the border. And remember, you see those air pockets? That's going to fart on your cake. So squeeze it up on top to let it out, and then squeeze a portion on the bottom. There you go. All right, now I'm just going to make loops. Okay, looks weird. I'm all right with that. We're not done. Then you just take your 22 tip. I don't know where my tips went. I would have rather have used a 32 because it's a little more delicate, but this will work. And then just a border. Viola. One of the easiest, most elegant cakes you can make. This part here is just so much fun. So what do you think? Birthday worthy or not? I'll tell you what, that cake. I mean, this is one of those cakes where I could literally just rip off a chunk out of the pan and eat it like that. And then with that cream and the banana, forget about it. It's amazing. Do I cut into it? I'll tell you what. There'll be a picture on my Instagram, the Bijou Baker. I'll cut into it then. Can I wait? Can I wait? Okay, you know I couldn't wait. I couldn't wait. That is spectacular. Okay, so I feel good. You know that I would. Never had a single singing lesson. I think the contest might be over. Oh my God. That just totally took me back 30 years ago when I was making these all the time. Now I remember why they were so popular. Holy moly, that was good. Absolutely delicious and light. And the cake is so light and airy. That's the key to a really good cake. Most. That's a winner. Okay, I have cake to eat. Okay, my friends, until next time, happy baking.
Ah, that was fun. Don't forget to like and subscribe.